first thing I want to say is good evening to everyone, and I want to say thank God for another day. That's the first thing that I want to say before I get into this video. Now, there are some that are believers out there, and there are some that are non-believers. And I'm not criticizing anyone. I never do that. But if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here today. And all of this is leading into the coronavirus thing. And I'm going back to where I was last week and going over some different things and saying some other things and giving my opinion. That's all I do have. The first thing I want to say is this. We have common sense. That is the best thing that we can use in situations like this. You know, in the beginning, as far as I can remember from what I'm told about the Bible, and don't misunderstand me now when I say this, because I am not a minister, I'm not a preacher, I do not have a master's degree in theology, but it's what I'm told. You see, God created heaven and earth, and He created man, and He blew breath into man. Then He had man to rule over the dominions of the garden, if I'm not mistaken. So, and as far as I know, Adam had to name every animal there was in that garden. Now just think about that. Of all the animals that we have here on this earth, He had to name those. So He had to use His sense. So that means that we are the smartest things on earth. God made us ruler. He gave us a brain to use, and therefore we had to name, at least Adam had to name all the animals, okay? Therefore, when you look at life today, we are still the smartest thing on this earth because we have to think, we speak, and do all those other things. Now here we are in a pandemic. You hear so many things about this pandemic. So many people saying different things, you know, with PhDs and doctorates and all this other stuff, chief of CDC and all these other things, you know, and it seems like no one can ever come together on this thing. But what we do know is this, that it is 10 times stronger than the flu. That means that if you can get the flu, do you realize how bad this thing is going to be if you get it and it's 10 times worse than the flu? It also means that they don't know if there's a reoccurrence. Well, my belief is that it will have a reoccurrence somewhere down the road, because you never entirely stop getting the flu. When there's an epidemic of the flu and there is a number of people keep coming up with these cases and they don't know how to treat it, which they can't treat it, they just can give you this or give you some other type of medication or antibiotic or something like that. To try to beat that virus, they give you the same things over and over again. So there's a lot of medication that's going into your system, okay? But what it does, it helps you to limit the flu. It helps you to limit that virus. You don't get over it. You have to go through a cycle. I hear a lot of people talking about they want to get started back and go back to work. I understand that. But do you realize that you can go back too soon? You know, when we live a certain time, we live in a season. God has given us a season, okay? I don't want to rush my season. If you look back during Moses' time, people were living back in the hundreds of years. And as time progressed up until this point, some of us don't make it till 40. That's why I say I thank God every day when He wakes me up and allow me to see another day or to feel the sunshine on my face, okay? That is the reason why I'm being blessed. When I look back over my life and I see that the good days outweigh my bad days, man, I really can't complain. So you have to understand what you're going through right now. And this is why I'm talking so much about this. People don't care about other people right now. There is a lot of hunger out there. People are walking around other people, giving other people the virus. They may come through it, but we as older people, it's going to be harder on us, and we may not come through it as some young people or as some older people. It just depends on the underlying condition. In this state, we are around about 3,000 now, and then counting, where we're still getting more cases. Everyone haven't been tested. And you mean to tell me you want to try to open the state back up again? You shouldn't even be considering that right now. Right now, what we need to be trying to do is try to aid each other in getting through this, trying to make sure everyone is eating, trying to make sure people are breathing right, trying to make sure everybody is sheltering in place or trying to limit themselves in contact with people. That's the only way that we can get through this. When this thing starts to decrease in the number of people that we are having each day or each week, then you know we're getting better. There is no way that you can turn around and start this country back in 3 or 4 weeks. It infuriates me when I hear people saying, I don't care. That means that not only do they don't care about themselves, that also means that they don't care about you. And we have to be concerned about each other. Life is fun. Life is not serious all the time. Life is good. Life is happy. And now is the time for us to be serious about life. But why do we go through life, some of us, and think life is a game? That we do not respect the wishes or the rules of the road, I should say. And the rules of the road, it's when the laws come down and say don't do this and don't do that, and you're still doing it. That means that you don't care. We have to care about someone. And here we are dumping food. There are many people that can't get any food. Why can't the state purchase the food and give it out instead of just wasting? Americans wasting stuff. I don't think we need to. Now, some of you is not liking what I'm saying right now, but that is the way we are. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And I'm standing for the right. And I'm going to keep on standing for the right. Now, if you don't think that I'm right about this, you keep listening to the news and you keep listening. And once this country gets to the place to where you can't buy food or you're limited back like it was in 1945 when World War II was here, you're going to realize it's not good, okay? We are going to have to change. Some of us have not even lived in such a down way to where you have to eat leftovers for 3 days. You throw away your leftovers each day because you're accustomed to working. You're accustomed to having funds. But when you are limited, when you run out of your money and you got to eat spaghetti for 3 days or beef stew for 3 or 4 days, you'll realize it's not easy to come by. And it's not because you don't have it, that's because you can't get it. Because the pork factories is going to be closing. The chicken factories is going to be closing because you can't get meat, because everyone there just about to have the pandemic, COVID-19, coronavirus, anything you want to call it, you know that this virus is here. And that's what it's going to be. But how many of us thinking about trying to farm something, to try to have something for our families? We don't think about that. The only thing that we think about now is just going to the grocery store because of technology and how society has really just moved from one direction to another direction. I remember back in the 50s when you didn't have a refrigerator, when the milkman comes by your house every 3 days and leave milk. I remember that type of stuff. You see, some of you don't even know about that. You just know about going to the grocery store and getting stuff. But when that starts to happening because of this stuff that's going on now, because we are being irresponsible, you're going to start wondering, and then you're going to start going without. You don't need to do that when you can do something about the situation now. You can do something about the issue now. All you have to do is stop, look, and listen, and do what these people tell you to do about this virus, because they are checking every day and telling you things that happens. And all you have to do is use good common sense on how to put these things together and how you want to live your life and how you want to try to protect your family and other people from you. And that's the most important thing. I'm not excluded from that, but I tell you what I want to do. I want to live my season out. I want to live it to the fullest. I want to do as much as I possibly can with what I got. And I want to live as long as I can and be as happy as I can for as long as God allow me to. That's why I am stressing these points. I know you guys already know about it, but sometime it has to come out like this in order for it to reach people, for them to start realizing that things does happen like this. So, after all of that, I hope this managed to reach some people. But like I say, as always, keep your faith in God, trust in yourself, keep your heart and your mind right, and you'll get there. So until next time, this is Rosey. See you later.